Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello everyone and welcome to your English class. In our lesson today, we will continue with the fourth unit, which is titled The Art of Advertising. Our lesson today is a reading lesson. In your books, page 60 and 61. All you need for the lesson today is your books, page 60 and 61, a sheet of paper and a pen to take down your notes. So let's get started. We'll start with the homework that you've got from the conversation lesson. You had a question which was, describe an unusual new gadget that you have seen or read about. Something that you've read, heard about, or something that you've got. Describe it. You will describe it using this chart. What is the gadget called? What does it look like, the appearance, and how does it work, the functionality. For me, I will speak about this one, which is the USB drink coaster. What is it called? It is actually called a USB mug warmer. It keeps the mug warm, or the drink within the mug. What does it look like? It looks like a coaster. This one is the base, the coaster, that keeps the coffee warm. This is how it looks. Then, how does it work? The functionality. The coaster is connected to a computer and it keeps the drink warm. So, using a USB cable, I will connect it to my computer. Then it will keep my drink warm. It will use the power from my computer. Okay, how about your product or your gadgets? Something that you heard about, you believe that is unusual. What is it? Its name, how does it look like, and what does it do? Okay, let's get started with our lesson today. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to read an article, use some new vocabulary, and answer some questions on the reading text. All about reading and answering questions to get the meaning of new words. Let's get started. In here, before we start reading page 60 and 61, speaking about gadgets and things, products that we buy because of an advertisement or any other thing. How do you usually pay for your purchase? Do you prefer cash or credit payment? Usually, what are the means, the ways that you pay for? Do you usually pay using cash or credit? We're having cash, credit card, we're having the debit card as well, and you can pay using your phone, using your smartwatch. We're having the idea of having checks and many, many other options. How about you? Do you prefer to pay in cash or to pay using credit or card? For me, I prefer to use the card. It is safer, and in case someone try to take the money from me, they're not going to be able to withdraw any money. However, for the cash, you are much more prone to be stolen, taken from you. How about you? Which one would you prefer, cash or card? Come up with an answer and try to justify. Let's check on your books now, page 60. The first thing, the title, the big title that we've got there. What is the title for the reading today? It is about the word of plastic. A word of plastic. Okay, how many paragraphs do we have? Try to count the paragraphs, the chunks. They are actually 6. Which one is the longest? Check them. The longest is the second paragraph. More lines than the others. How about the shortest? The fewer number of lines. I guess it is the last one, the 6th one. Okay. What do the pictures show? Let's look at the pictures. We're having 2 pictures on page 60 and 61. We're having a picture for a card, and someone is handing a credit card. Handing it, trying to use it. And the other one is for a number of credit cards or cards. Okay. We have said that the word of plastic, what do you mean by plastic? I will come up with words or sentences using the word plastic. I don't have any plastic. This restaurant doesn't take plastic. And do you accept plastic? No, sir. cash only. So what do we mean by the word plastic? Is it like the material? We are referring actually to the material. However, here we are speaking about the idea of credit card, of the card I am paying with plastic. And this is an American use for the word credit card. As a synonym, another word, they will say plastic instead of credit card or card. So the word of plastic means the word of credit card. I'm going to speak about the history of credit card. When I say the word of plastic or when I say credit card, what words do you think of what words that come to your mind when I will say credit card? Do you think of learning? I don't think so. For me, I have thought about many words. Money, maybe purchase, buy something. Also the idea of easy. I believe that it's easier just to pay with the credit card. And fast. It will make my purchase or the process faster than instead of counting the cash and handing it to the cashier, they will give me the change back. Any other word? Any word that is related to credit card or money would be okay. Okay. Now here I want you to go through the reading, the text, and I want you to try to find numbers. Any number, a date, a number, anyone. And by the way, we're having many today in this text. I have found 1950, 1952, 1949, 1962, 10, and 1984. Mostly dates. These are mostly dates. Another thing, I want you to scan for, try to find names. People's names, cities' names, a name of anything. As a hint for you, I want you to come up with anything that is capitalized in the middle of the text. Like Frank, someone's name, United States, New York, Canada, Diners Club card, and Western Airline. All of these are names. Airlines names, countries, cities, we're having someone's name and a card name. A key word for this one, try to find the capital letter. Okay, now let's go now to the reading part. Now, all you're going to do, listen, trace while you are listening, underline or circle the words that you believe that you want to get the meaning. We will discuss them together. You only have one question. What is the paragraph about? What is the main idea that you have heard or read about? Let's listen together and you will come up with the main idea. Let's listen.
The world of plastic. Can you imagine a world without credit cards? Until the 1950s, a world without the use of cash was simply inconceivable. Today, an economic universe without plastic would be impractical. Whether it's for business or for leisure, the credit card is used to pay for goods and services from New York to Beijing.
So, the first paragraph in here, what is the main idea? They're telling you that in the past, it was cash only. If you go outside the house without cash, life is inconceivable, very hard. However, today, going out without a credit card is impractical, not practical. It's not easy to buy things. However, today, everywhere, whether you are in New York or Beijing from the west to the east, you can use your credit card, the same credit card everywhere around the world. Whatever that you want to buy or purchase, you can use your credit card. So the main idea of this paragraph is about the idea of life before and after credit card. In the past, it was inconceivable to go out without cash. Today, it is impractical, not practical, to go out without a credit card. So you noticed the revolution or the change between the past and the present. Now let's go to the second paragraph. It all started in 1949. Here, what is the main idea? And if you come next to any date, just circle it. We're going to come to the dates. So let's listen, and what is the main idea?
It all started in 1949 when Frank McNamara scheduled a business dinner in a New York restaurant. Before he left for the dinner, Frank changed suits. When the waiter presented the check, Frank realized that he had left his wallet in the other suit. The embarrassing situation was solved, but that night Frank asked himself, why should people be limited to spending what they are carrying in cash, instead of being able to spend what they can afford?
So in here, they are telling us about the story. We're having Frank McNamara, 1949. What happened? He went for a business dinner. He was supposed to be the one who will pay for the dinner. However, when it is time for the check, he realized that he forgot his card, his cash, at home in another suit. It was very embarrassing for him. However, it was solved. Maybe he went home and got his cash. That night he couldn't sleep. He was all day thinking, all night thinking, why do I have to carry the whole cash with me as long as I can afford it? He was thinking about the idea of transferring money between me, my account, and the restaurant's account. So the main idea in here, we're speaking about the story behind credit card. The beginning of the credit card, the story behind it. Let's continue with the same paragraph in here. So before we continue, we're having a date, 1949. What happened in 1949? From the second paragraph, we can tell Frank couldn't pay for dinner because he forgot his wallet. He forgot his wallet, his cash at home, and he couldn't pay for the dinner. Okay, let's continue with the same paragraph, paragraph 2, and this time you will tell me what is the main idea again.
A year later, Frank returned to the same restaurant in New York. When the check came, Frank handed the waiter a small cardboard card, a Diners Club card, and signed for the meal. This event is known in the credit card industry as the First Supper. Soon, the concept of charging it was picked up by merchants as an alternative form of payment to the use of cash. By 1952, the Diners Club card was accepted by thousands of businesses across the United States, and it became a status symbol for those who carried it.
Okay, so what happened? At 1949, 1950. In 1950, the whole year, Frank was thinking about the idea. He was embarrassed, he couldn't pay. So he came up with a card. It was called the Diners Club card, just for restaurants, and he paid. He gave him the card and he signed the check. All you need is just to sign. Soon, 2 years later, it expanded all over the country. In 1952, everyone is using card, the Diners Club card. It's not a credit card yet, Diners Club card. So this is the paragraph is about the first credit card. It was called the Diners Club card, 1950. What are the dates that were mentioned in here? We have mentioned 1950, a year later. Frank returned to the same restaurant and paid with a Diners Club card, the first use of the Diners Club card. 2 years later, 1952, Diners Club card was accepted by thousands of businesses across the United States. So it spread all over the country in the United States within only 2 years. Okay, now in the third paragraph, listen, read, and find the main idea. Circle if we're having any dates, so we will get to know what happened in that date. Let's listen.
The Diners Club card soon became a cultural icon. Hollywood cashed in on the Charge It craze with the 1962 movie, The Man from the Diners Club. In it, an employee at Diners Club issues a credit card to a well-known gangster and has to get it back in order to keep his job. The Ideal Toy Corporation joined in the trend when it created a board game called the Diners Club game. The idea of the credit card quickly expanded outside the United States.
Okay, so they have told us here how it became as a cultural icon. We're having a movie from Hollywood. They invested or cashed in the idea of credit card. They produced or came up with a movie which is called the Man from the Diners Club. And also we're having a board game for young people which is called the Diners Club game. So the idea is expanding. Then it expand and outside the country, outside the United States. So the main idea in here, the credit card as a cultural icon. It became an American idea. So we have mentioned in here from this paragraph, 1962, what happened 1962? 1962, Hollywood produced the movie The Man from the Diners Club. It became a cultural icon. Let's continue with the following paragraph. The Diners Club card became the first international charge. What is the main idea? Any dates mentioned? Let's listen.
The Diners Club card became the first international charge card in 1952 with franchises in Canada, France, and Cuba. In 1955, Western Airlines became the first airline to accept the Diners Club card. 10 years later, the card was accepted by every airline in the United States. Diners Club expanded its services to hotels, car rentals, and other businesses.
So, the paragraph here is telling us that we're having an expansion, not only in the United States, in Cuba, in France, and in Canada, they started using the Diners Club card. And also, 10 years later, we're having the Western Airlines, they accepted the Diners Club card. Now, everyone who wants to travel using the Western Airlines, they can use their Diners Club card, not only cash. So, the main idea here, the expansion of the credit card idea. Not only airlines, but also we're having hotels, restaurants, and many other places. From the paragraph, we have noticed that there is a mention for 1955. 1955, Western Airlines became the first airline to accept the Diners Club card as a merchant. 10 years later, 1965, what happened? The card was accepted by every airline in the United States. So every single airline will accept the Diners Club card. The following paragraph, number 4, other famous international credit cards. Now listen for the main idea. Any dates, just circle them. We will come back to them. Let's listen.
Other famous international credit cards have been created, such as American Express, Visa, and MasterCard. There are hundreds of local bank cards, department store credit cards, supermarket credit cards, and so forth around the world.
So, we're having here, the name is not only the Diners Club card, the name have changed. We have Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and also we're having credit cards for the banks, which are the debit. Now we're having for supermarkets, for banks, and for hotels. So we're having multiple things, multiple other cards. So the emergence, which is the introduction, the start of having other credit cards. So it's not only the Diners Club card, we're having emergence. They started having other types of credit cards. Okay, the following paragraph, number 5, here, what is the main idea? Any dates mentioned? Let's listen.
In 1984, the first Card Members Rewards program was created, aimed mostly at business travelers. It gave valuable benefits and special privileges to loyal users. Now, many reward programs offer free airline miles and discounts on hotels and other products.
Okay, so what happened in here? 1984, we're having the loyalty programs for those credit card holders. The first Card Member Reward program. The more you buy using this credit card, my card, the more rewards. Maybe hotels, airlines, I will give you gifts. You will buy and I will give you gifts back. So as a reward, you do something, I will do something for you. So on the timeline in here, 1984, what happened? In 1984, the first Card Members Reward program was created. So we started with the idea of we're having a program which is the member reward. You are a member with me, I will give you gifts or rewards because you're using my card. Let's continue in here. The last paragraph, let's listen.
Ever since a businessman forgot his cash in 1949, people have used credit cards. An entirely new business was created that revolutionized the way the world has paid for goods and services ever since.
Okay, so they're telling you that from 1949 until today, because all the favor goes for Frank McNamara, 1945, when he felt so bad that he didn't have the money, and it revolutionized, it changed the face of this word because he did something. So the main idea in here, the credit card revolution, it exploded all over the world just because of one situation to Frank McNamara. So on a timeline in here, the history of the credit card, 1949, what happened? Frank couldn't pay for dinner because he forgot his wallet. It didn't stop in here. A year later, he returned to the same restaurant and paid with a Diners Club card. 2 years later, the Diners Club card was accepted by thousands of businesses across the United States. So, locally, 1955, Western Airlines became the first airline to accept the Diners Club card. Then, we're having 62, Hollywood produced the man from the Diners Club, a cultural icon. 65, the card was accepted by every airline in the United States, 10 years after the Western Airlines. Then, 1984, the first card member reward program was created because the idea became a competition between all the cards, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and the others. Everyone wants people to use theirs. Okay, now let's go to the after reading on page 61. Choose the correct meaning for each word. Inconceivable. You can find it in paragraph number 1. They said, until 1950s, a word without the use of cash was simply inconceivable. In the past, inconceivable, going out without cash. Inconceivable means impossible to imagine. There is no other way to pay for your purchase. I can't imagine any other way. Then, impractical. What did they say? Today, an economic universe without plastic or card would be impractical. If you go out without your card, it is impractical. It means not convenient, not easy. Limited. What did they say? Why should people be limited to spending what they have, what they carry in cash, instead of being able to spend what they can afford? What do we mean by limited? Kept within a boundary. Why I am going to be only limited with the cash I have. Number 4, status of symbol. So, they said in 1952, the Diners Club card was accepted by thousands of businesses and became a status symbol for those who carried it. Status of symbol, sign of high social standing. If you got this card, you are much better than other people. A status of symbol. Let's continue. Cash in. To cash in, Hollywood cashed in on the charge at craze with the 1962 movie The Man from the Diners Club. We said to cash in is to make money from investing. Franchise. They have franchises in Cuba, France, and Canada. Diners Club card became the first international charge card in 1952 with franchises in Canada, France, and Cuba. So, they are branches of a company, not the main branch, branches. Revolutionize. They said an entirely new business was created that revolutionized the way the world has paid for goods. A revolution means to greatly change. We have changed from cash into a totally different thing. Okay, the following here, with the help of the dictionary, I wanted to refer to the dictionary and come up, write down words that start with M or N. We're having words like inconceivable, inactive, informal, incapable, also impractical, immobile, impossible, and immoral. I will tell you something about the idea of forming words in English. What makes English an easy language is the ability to come up with new words using what comes before it is a prefix and what comes after it, which is the suffix. So, we're going to focus on the prefixes. The prefix in, if it is followed by an adjective, it means not, as well as M, which is basically in, following the adjective, means not. So in and M means not. Like informal, not formal. Also, impossible, not possible. So when you attach it, if it is a word, then you will attach in or M to it. It means not the adjective. It gives you the negative form of it. Think about many. We're having many and many other words. For your homework, I want you to think about any invention. We have talked today about the invention of credit card. Think about any invention that have developed over years. We are going to put it on a timeline. When was it invented, the beginning, and how did it develop until today, from the invention day until today. Okay? I guess that is it for the lesson today, and thank you so much for your time.